we are discussing yesterday. Yes.
The next two, like, I mean, you were in that uh, derivation thing, which I got
Yeah,
given.
we'll look at the derivation again. Don't worry. Okay, I'm
Yes,
just
sir.
once more I'm running the slides. Okay, for these slides, one more thing. I'm like changing some this image I have changed and some comments and all I will be adding. Okay, so once I finally upload that slide, just have a look. Okay, they are not doing any major changes, but some minor here and there I will add some comments so that it becomes more clear. So someone has not attended the class, I want to make it more clear for him. Okay, so some little bit change will be there in this PPT once I upload. So just have a look when you get this. Anyway, so till now what we have discussed, we have talked about what is a laminar, what is a premixed and diffusion flame. We looked into different types of. So for example, here I've added some comments. Okay, but these things we have already discussed. That this is not in our syllabus. We'll not talk about. We'll limit to premixed flames. Okay, but you should know this. You are studying this course, so you should know that this type of feature is also there, but we'll not go into much detail. So these minor details and some comments I'm adding. Okay, so moving on. So we looked into this interesting image. What is your preheat and reaction zone? We discussed about flame speed, and then we talked about flashback, blow off, and so this so basically a gas turbine combustor. Okay, this is a burner where you burn fuel. So fuel is coming out from here. These are the ports. Now, flashback is not the only thing. Okay, so there's a lot of pressure oscillations and a lot of things are happening. But flashback is also partly responsible. Flashback melts this. You see this shining perforated sheet. You all can see, right?
Yes, sir.
So this, you see that
Yes, sir.
front plate that is completely gone here. So flashback is also partly responsible for this damage. So that is why these two are very important behavior. We'll also talk in a bit in detail about this. So let us first talk about flame speed. So this you all are okay with, right?
Yes, sir.
Going through the slides. If anyone has question, just stop me there. How to find the alpha and flame speed? Okay, now this we have discussed yesterday that combustion is basically flame front is a wave. You can consider this as a wave, and mass, momentum, energy, everything will be conserved. Don't think that because you are burning something or you have a combustion here, any property will not be conserved. This all will be conserved. And there is one important observation. I don't know whether you people have looked at it. So if you look at the first equation of continuity. Okay, let me make it full screen. So if you look at continuity equation, what we see is that rho u is constant. Okay, so let us say from left side I am sending SS at SL, laminar flame speed. And what will be the density for atmospheric conditions? Anyone knows the number roughly? Density of air.
1 bar, sir. Like 10 power 5 pascals approx.
1.21.
No, no, I'm asking density, not pressure.
Oh, sorry, sir. No.
So
So
density is
density
of,
in one.
1.28 approx.
yeah, roughly 1.2 kilogram per meter cube. Okay, let us say for let us say methane. So 1.2 into 40. U1 is 40. Okay, let us take some number. Now, because of continuity, what happens? Rho decreases rapidly. Okay, the density will be like 5-6 times. Why? Because of temperature. If you use this rho RT, okay, this is valid for both the sides, right? So if I take rho RT here and I take rho RT here, you see the temperature is changing too much. Let's say, for example, initially I have, let's say 300 Kelvin. Okay, After the fuel is burnt, it could go to roughly, let's say 2000 Kelvin. So what is the ratio? 300 to 2000. What is the ratio of temperature?
1 by 6.66. Like.
Yeah, roughly you can say 5 to 6 times.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So the density will change accordingly. This will be much less dense, and consequently, this will be very high. This will be much bigger than SL U2. What is going that side? Okay. So as your fuel passes through the combustion wave, as it passes through the flame front, two things happen. One is that your density decreases. It will be much less dense than unburnt air. And again, velocity will increase. Velocity will be much higher than what we have from this side. Okay. So these are just the governing equation which are required for, you would have studied in fluid mechanics, right?
Which equation, sir?
Continuity,
Yes,
momentum.
sir. Yes, sir.
This is already there in thermodynamics. So just that only. No, we'll not go into derivation, but just you should know these are the equations which are applicable. Now let us talk about this Maillard and Le Chatelier theory that we discussed yesterday. So I'll quickly go through it again. If you have doubt, you can ask that time. So basically, it is based on, let me get a laser. So again, we have a tube where we have a straight unwrinkled flame. Okay, this is ideal condition. Unburned gases hitting the flame and getting burnt, leaving from that side. Now we see that the temperature varies like this, and we have divided it into two zones. Just look at the next slide. So this green region is called region of conduction. Okay, this is the preheat region where the fuel is getting heated with almost no reaction. Some minor reactions will be there, but let us assume for simplicity that there is no reaction there. All the reaction is taking place in this thin region, which is called flame thickness delta. Okay, here we are generating heat, right? So this is zone 1, green is zone 1, this is zone 2. Everyone is okay with this?
Yes, sir.
Okay, fine. So now what we need to do, we'll talk about heat balance. Okay, so here I am generating heat and that heat is getting lost here. I am giving heat by conduction. So what that heat is doing, that heat is heating the unburned fuel and air mixture. It is heating from where? From T0 is the initial temperature. It is heating from T0 to Ti. It is bringing the fuel from unburned temperature, room temperature to ignition temperature, Ti. So how can we calculate that? Q is equal to mc delta T, right? This is a constant pressure process. We are talking about atmospheric flames. So heat required to raise the unburnt fuel temperature is mcp delta T. That's it. Everyone is okay with that?
So here the mass indicates like the unburned fuel itself, sir.
M
So we are
dot.
not concerned.
Yes. Yes.
We are
M
not
dot.
concerned
M dot.
about the exhaust gases.
No. This is from this side only. That's all. Don't worry. Exhaust is this side. Okay.
Okay,
So
so in like a
let
heat
me
and
go
mass
back.
transfer part.
So I am saying that this is the flame. Heat is getting generated here. It will lose some amount of heat here. Some heat will go that side. We'll go step by step. Okay. So here we are not concerned how much is going to burn. I am talking only about this thin region. Okay. You have a hot. So for example, let us say you have a hot metal rod here, hot iron stick. So because it is hot and here we have cold gas, it will lose some amount of heat, right?
Yes, sir.
The gas near to this will be hot. So that's all. The heat is getting lost by conduction.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so this is m dot is the mass flow rate of fuel and constant pressure, atmospheric pressure, constant pressure process m dot Cp delta T. Fine. Now let
Yes,
us
sir.
talk about the heat generation here. So this is what is conducting heat, right? So we have a final temperature Tf and the delta T is, so when you talk about conduction, we said what is the delta T? what is the heat difference, temperature difference. So we see that from TF, the interface. So this is the interface. Let us talk about this interface. Okay, so this is the interface through which heat is getting conducted outside. So the delta T is TF minus Ti, and let us say the conductivity is lambda. So you remember Q is equal to Ka delta T by delta X that you have studied in conduction. So now here delta T is this. Instead of K, I am writing this, and A is the area of this tube. This is the tube we are talking about. This is the cross-sectional area of this tube. Okay, and lambda is thickness. Sorry, delta. Delta is the thickness. Is everyone okay with this?
Yes, sir.
Others? So we'll do one thing. When you ask any question, at least check your name. I cannot see you. I don't even, because I'm running full screen, I cannot see your name. So tell me your name. Everyone is clear? When you comment, just mention your name. That's all.
Yes, sir.
Your name, please. Okay, fine. We'll go ahead. So we'll talk about heat balance. We'll say that heat is getting conducted from here, and that heat is being used to heat this unburned gas, to raise the temperature from T0 to Ti. That is the basic idea. That is the basic assumption behind this theory, Maillard and Le Chatelier. So what they did was, so basically they are assuming that propagation of heat back through layers of gas. Okay, this is the controlling mechanism that controls how your flame is formed or how your flame propagates. So this all I think I have discussed already. So they talk about two zones, and then they talk about ignition temperature. So the difficulty with this theory is that they do not define how to find this ignition temperature. You have to take some assumption. Okay. But in actual physics, actual chemistry, if you look at, so reaction mechanisms are not only controlled by heat but also by diffusion of species. That part is being neglected by this theory. Okay, so there are different theories. They take different assumptions. They basically simplify the problem. So they have forgotten about this mass, or they have neglected this mass diffusion. Okay, and smaller molecules, as you know, that will diffuse highly, but we'll not talk about this in this theory. So this all, there are some comments, you can just go through them. So basically the idea is that this gives a simple thermal analysis. That is why we are deriving this, because if you look at the complex mechanisms, then a lot of things will not be clear. Okay, so let us begin with this theory. So as I showed you that we have two zones, zone 1 and zone 2. Now here we have a major assumption that Ti to Tf, it varies linearly. So I can say that the slope is of this form, delta T by delta. Okay, this is the thickness, flame thickness here. So that is my assumption, and then I use this equation what we have shown in the last slide, that what is the heat lost by flame is the heat gained by unburned gases. Okay, where this is thermal conductivity and not is mass flow rate, that you are clear with. Now, if you look at this tube, from continuity we have rho Va, and what is rho Va, which is basically your SL is U. Because I want to hold this flame stationary, so SL is U. So this is one relation we have. Then we look at the relation that we had in the last slide. Now in this relation, can I substitute this m dot using this? Can I write m dot is equal to rho SL into A?
Yes, sir.
Is this fine?
Yes, sir.
So I'll do that, and then my this A will get cancelled from LHS and RHS. RHS we have A, LHS we will also have A, so A will get cancelled, and we can write rho SL, A is cancelled, dp to delta T, and this is the same quantity, A is removed. Okay. Now if you take this and you divide this quantity by this, you'll get SL. right? No big maths, just I am dividing this RHS by LHS and we obtain a value for SL. Now this expression is like one of the main results from this theory. Okay, we have like a very few equations and we were able to derive SL, which is the flame speed, in terms of known parameters. Okay, we know what is the final initial temperature. Lambda will derive somehow. We will also define what is Ti, but let us say that these are the known parameters. We can at least in flame we can measure or we can define how this varies. So this Maillard and Le-Chatelier theory gives you expression for SL. Now again we need to find something for delta. Flame thickness is again undefined. So we look into a detailed or we'll extend this derivation. Okay. So what we can do is, this is the equation that we had in the last slide. Now let us again use this equation, continuity equation. Okay. So m dot by A is rho u which is equal to rho SL, which we have already seen for this tube. Now the last, this is an important addition. So what we are seeing here is that omega dot is the reaction rate. Okay, it is grams per cubic centimeter per unit time. And delta is the flame thickness. So what this term tells you is that you have the reaction rate into thickness. So this will give you reaction rate per unit area. Okay, so we are talking about m dot per unit area. So this is also reaction rate. What is the rate of reaction, or this could be linked to what is the rate of fuel consumption, rate of consumption of methane, rate of generation of water or carbon dioxide per unit area. Okay, that is this term stands for. Is this okay? This is a very important term which we are using here.
Yes, sir.
Fine. So
Yes.
now using this, if I substitute this equation, if I substitute this into this SL, or let us start from this. So using the last two terms, if I divide rho SL by omega dot, I get delta, sorry. Right? Now, if I substitute this back to this equation, okay, we have our delta here. So I substitute this value. This is what we'll get. Fine. So this lambda into delta T is same here. Rho Cp into delta T is same. Instead of this 1 by delta, I have written this. We have done reverse of this. So omega will go up and rho SL will come down. Fine. Now we have two SL here, right? One SL is in LHS, one is in RHS. So what we can do, take this there and make a square root. So this will become SL square. So I'll take a square root of it, that will be SL. Right, this is the same quantity, SL taken over there and made a square root. Fine. Now this is the expression for flame speed SL. Now you see this term here, lambda by rho Cp. So this is called thermal diffusivity. Okay, so no big theory here. This is a property which is defined like this. Lambda by rho Cp is thermal diffusivity. So for this expression, I can replace this by alpha. Okay, same expression, instead of lambda by rho Cp, I write alpha. So because this is also a well-known parameter. So you have some condition where you know alpha, you can just substitute alpha and you can calculate SL. Is this fine? So moving on. So again, now we see that this is the last equation only, what we have derived in terms of alpha. Now we see that we have a delta T parameter. So if I assume, let us say this is constant. Okay, for a given fuel, you will anyway know what is your final temperature, what is your initial temperature, ignition temperature, and what is your initial T0. So this, let us say that this is a constant. Okay, for a given fuel. So using that, I can say that flame speed is proportional to alpha, omega dot and rho. I have removed this central term. Okay, so this is one of the main results. Okay, what we see here is that we are able to correlate flame speed with alpha, which is a known parameter. For a fuel, you will know what is alpha. Omega dot is also known. If you know what is the rate of reaction, we can measure or we can calculate from some theory. We can take Arrhenius theory, we can calculate omega. Rho is also known, you know what is the density of your fuel mixture. So we have derived a very useful form. Okay, so in this form, we are seeing that laminar flame phenomena, how it depends on various physical and chemical parameters. Okay, so this flame speed, let us say, directly depends on omega, reaction rate, root of reaction rate. This inversely depends on the density of your mixture, and it also depends on thermal diffusivity. So this gives you physical insight. So if you go for complicated models or detailed derivation of those models, this simple picture you will not get. So that is the major advantage of Maillard and Le Chatelier's theory. Okay. Now again, still we need to find that delta. So what?
Sir,
Yes.
here rho will be the, density of the fuel and exhaust mixture at,
No.
within
But
the flame thing, sir. Like, so because rho SL,
Rho
if we
is,
write rho SL, then it means that we are taking the mass in the flame front, right, sir?
yes, correct.
Rho SL equal to rho UA, that continuity equation.
Yes. So this will be SL. Sorry, this velocity will be SL. Okay. So we are
Unburned gas velocity is SL or the flame front velocity is SL, sir?
no, flame is stationary here. So unburnt gas has to come with SL. Otherwise the flame will move.
Yes, sir.
Here I am writing rho U, but my U is SL. If you don't have SL, then the flame will move forward and backward.
Yes, sir.
Right? So when we say rho here, that rho is unburnt gas.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Fine. Now we have talked about SL. Now we still have to figure out how to determine the flame thickness, delta. So what we'll do is we'll again use that equation. We'll say that, okay, this what we have discussed in the last slide. Okay, now using this, can I write omega dot as rho SL by lambda? I've just divided it, right? See the last two terms, if I divide, I will get omega dot. Now we have two equations. I know this is for SL, this is for omega dot. I want to eliminate omega and I want to find delta. So what I will do is, using this value, I substitute it in this equation and let us calculate for SL. So can I write SL like this? I just substituting it here. Rho will get cancelled. Lambda delta will be in the denominator and SL will be on the top. Is everyone okay?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Substituting this here, get a relation for SL. Now again we will have take the root in this side. So this will become square root of SL. This will become square root of this. So we can write SL is also proportional to alpha by delta. Fine. From here I can also write the delta is proportional to alpha by SL. So we at least know what are the parameters delta depend on. What will determine my flame thickness. Okay. So by using this analysis, we have derived how to calculate laminar flame speed. We have derived a very important relation for laminar flame speed, and we also talk about laminar flame thickness. Okay, let us move on. So someone had some doubts. So now you are clear with all your doubts?
Yes, sir.
Fine. So let us move ahead. So there is another theory which is giving a detailed mechanism. This is developed by Zeldovich, Frank Kamenetsky, and Somino. So these are, I think, Russian people. Zeldovich is a very famous person for NOx pollution. He has given the most important mechanism. So anyway, so they have given a theory which talks about diffusion of species. Okay, but they didn't talk about the reaction mechanism. What they do is that the species that is diffusing back, they also take some energy. Okay, but this is a very detailed derivation. We'll not go into that, but you should just know that what is this theory about and what are the major assumptions. It talks about diffusion of species, and in species it only focuses on energy transport, not on the reaction. So, and for this theory, they assume that the reaction rate is Arrhenius. Remember this, we discussed in the kinetics class, e to the power minus RT, right? This is the most general Arrhenius form. In class, we discussed A, they have taken Z, Z, but the form is the same. So using this, they have derived an equation for Sn. So there you can see this flame, reaction rate is written like this, Arrhenius rate. Okay. So using this, we can derive a simple form which can be noted like this. So reaction rate is again omega only. So what we see here is that SL shows a similar dependence that was obtained for Maillard and Le Chatelier's theory. Okay, similar type of physical behavior we observe. And reaction rate, what I told, is following Arrhenius law. But we will not go into derivation. So you should just note down what is the main assumption, and we are getting a similar results what we got from a very simple simplified theory. Fine.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Move ahead. So now see, we have talked about this two theories now. One was very simple, one was little complicated. But the actual calculations, when you do especially CFD, computational combustion, then we have a very comprehensive theory. Okay, we talk about all the conservation equations, we talk about all the reaction mechanisms. It is a different field of research when you talk about reaction kinetics and reduced mechanisms. So we'll not go into detail, but we'll just have an overview. What are the main assumptions and what are the main governing questions? So for a comprehensive theory, what are the governing equations? So basically we'll talk about mass, momentum and energy. So we'll say that mass is conserved. This is your continuity equation. Then we'll talk about species and energy conservation. Okay. So this equation will be solved for all species from 1 to n. And here, I believe you all are familiar with the terms. Only new thing would be this Vi. This is the diffusion velocity. This is the velocity of that particular species, how it is diffusing. Okay, omega you know, molecular weight you know, Y is the mole fraction, and this is basically one-dimensional equation. Okay, so let us say we are talking about a tube where the flame is held stationary and flow is going from here to here. So this is the x direction. So all the equations are written in derivative of x. Okay. So but this could be for any general flame. Your equation will be modified accordingly. That's what computer will do. But for our understanding, we'll limit to dx, d by dx. Similarly, we have for energy. Okay, these are also terms you should be very clear with now. So we have this conductivity, temperature gradient, and similar terms. So we'll not go into detail. We'll not do any derivation of these terms, but these are the governing equations you should know. Now we have governing equation. Now how do we solve a computation problem? So this is called basically a boundary value problem. Okay, you all have taken CFD course, or any of you have taken?
Oh, sir, I have not exactly taken CFT, but I know answers, and I know that one other person here has taken answers also.
Okay. So, anyways, we'll not go into any detail, but we'll have an overview of what is this and how it is solved. Okay, so this is actually a part of the question. So this is a boundary value problem. Okay, so where we have unknown functions at upstream, and so we need to find unknown these functions for upstream and downstream boundary condition. Oh, sorry. So what we have here is that given information about unknown function. So we know the value of temperature and mole fraction, mass fraction at upstream location. Initial conditions I know. Downstream also I have some information. Now I need to find how that varies. How to find Tx and Yx. This is the problem. Okay. Now how do we define boundary condition? So we'll say that for minus infinity. Okay. We'll not in computational domain will not go to minus infinity, but from theoretical point of view. So for example, this is your temperature, right? So if you extend it back, it will go to unburnt temperature. Okay, it is TU, T unburnt, which is most cases we take room temperature. So this is 300 Kelvin. Now for this x equal to plus infinity, when you go forward, then we say that this slope is getting diminished. Okay, so we are getting dt by dx is 0. That is how it is defined. So usme don't think too much about it, but that is the way we set up a problem. Similarly, we'll do it for mass fraction. So initially I know how much fuel is coming, how much air is coming. Finally, let us see that the profile gets flattened out. Okay. So what I am saying here is that I know the values of temperature and y upstream, and I say that downstream where we need to calculate the d or dx becomes 0. dt by dx or dy by dx becomes 0. That is how it is defined. That's all. And then we use some chemical kinetics mechanisms. Okay, so various commercial packages are available. You can use Chemkin, DAS, Cantera, etc. So this is all. This is the background. This is what we need to solve a combustion problem properly in a computer. Now let us look at the results. So we'll talk about what is the structure of methane air flames. So this is an important part of this chapter. So we've talked about laminar premixed flames. We have talked about what is a premixed flame, how to derive the flame speed. Now we'll see how it looks. This is like build up of all what you have studied previously. You have talked about thermodynamics, you have talked about chemical kinetics. So now we'll see how heat is released, how temperature is increased, what is the reaction rate at what location. So that we'll see. Let us start with methane air flames. So this is how your general profile looks. So some part we have already seen. So for example, temperature we have seen in previous slides. So don't look at everything what you see here. Just follow this pointer. What I'm trying to show, you focus on that, and then it will be more clear to you. So for example, I know in my flame, look at this pointer. Temperature is initially, let us say, at 300 degree, and when it reaches the flame front, it increases sharply, and it goes to, let us say, 2000 or something. So this is the adiabatic flame temperature for methane, for stoichiometric ratio of methane. Okay, so temperature rises like this. From low temperature suddenly jumps and it reaches at a high temperature near to adiabatic flame temperature. This is called actually equilibrium temperature. Anyway, then look at the other reactants. We'll talk about oxygen. Okay, so oxygen is roughly say 0.2. 20% of the moles are from oxygen. So initially we have reactants, oxygen is there, then this is the flame front. It reaches the flame. Okay. When it reaches, it started decreasing and it is almost 0, it decreases. Okay. Now we'll talk about methane. Okay, oxygen is not going to 0 because it is also coming from outside. So we'll not worry about that much. Let us look at methane. So initially in the fuel jet, fuel mixture that is coming, we have methane here, roughly 0.1 mole fraction. So if you do stoichiometric calculation, you will see that roughly around 0.1 moles of methane are required in this mixture. Okay, so methane is having some concentration and then it gradually drops in the flame front and after that it is gone. Right? So we have talked about oxygen, we talked about methane, we have talked about temperature. Now let us look at the heat rate. So where heat is generated. So this dotted line you can see. So this is where heat is getting generated. So it starts at the reaction zone. When the reaction starts, then it peaks. So this is like the middle of your flame, at the center of that flame, and then it drops. So there will be some minor reaction, some radical recombination. It will be going, but then it drops. See, this is like 1 or 2 millimeter. Okay, in such a thin zone, all of this is happening. Now let us look at the products. So okay, fine, we have reactants that burn, that produces heat, and now we see products. You see methane start dropping, and water which is there, it starts getting up. Okay, so there are two processes that are taking place. So some species of water, they also diffuse back. Okay, so that is also happening. So for example, you have a perfume in your room. Okay, it spreads throughout the room, right? That process is called diffusion. So you have a very strong gradient here. So some amount will also diffuse, and some intermediate reaction will also take place. So some water is present here in the upstream region. Similarly, we will have CO. CO is an intermediate species. Okay, so it will form and then it will go down. Why it will go down? Because CO will burn and CO2 is getting produced. So you see that CO2 is getting up and CO is getting down. We look at some also pictures of this, then it will be more clear. So this is how reactants and products vary. So in general, you can say that for a flame, let me draw. So oxygen or any reactant, it will have a high concentration, then it will drop, and as it reaches, and then it will stay low. That is what will happen for a reactant. What will happen to product? So can we change the color? Yes. So product, it will start forming somewhere here, and then it will rise and it will stabilize. The same plot will be for temperature or any product. Now intermediate species, that will, what color? Okay. Intermediate species like CO, it will form intermediately and it will go down. That is the major. So any question on this? People are here?
Yes, sir. Sir, carbon monoxide always, remains after even in the product side, sir. Some amount of it
Yeah,
always remains as a pollutant.
see, this is 3 mm. The flame will be much longer, so it will burn gradually. So this will get transferred. I will show you. I will have plots, contours of CO, that will be clear. So anyway, let me draw this again. Okay, let me make a new slide. So what we see is that, yeah. So let me again rephrase what we have talking about. So this is your reaction coordinate. Let us say flame is going from here to here. So what I mentioned, your species, or let me remove this. See, this is a very important concept, so I want you to be very clear with what we are talking about. So I am for that only I am repeating it. Okay. So this is the direction. So let us say this is your tube. Okay. You are going from here to here. You are going from unburnt to burnt mixture. So what will happen? Your temperature will rise from room temperature to some high temperature. Okay, this is how temperature will look in general for any fuel. Then if you talk about reactants, what will happen to reactant? Reactant will have some high concentration. When it reaches flame, it drops down and then it will be low. Fine. Then we'll have products. What color we want? Yellow. So product will start forming somewhere and then it will rise and it will be stabilizing. Okay, it will be, let me draw it again. So product will be, okay, so product will start forming somewhere and it will stabilize. Now the main issue is with intermediate products, okay, like CO. CO will form somewhere here in the middle of the flame, and then it will start going down. This is okay. Just neglect these lines. These are some error, but this is the general. So let me write. This is for all reactants. Initially we have high, then it goes low. This is for product. Okay, and this is for intermediate species. This is how your reaction will happen. Is this plot clear to anyone?
सर कार्बन डाइऑक्साइड का रिपीट कर दो, उसमें क्या होगा? वो
Carbon
intermediate
dioxide is
product.
a product. P. No, carbon dioxide is product. CO is
Oh,
intermediate. Okay. CO थोड़ा सा बनेगा, then it will also diminish. We'll see. Just wait for 2-3 slides. I have contours how it varies. Okay, let us go. Then it might be more clear. So this is how. Let us first skip this. So this is one plot. This is plot I made. This is actually my BTech project. So you can see methane. Methane is going down. Okay, so don't worry about this. This is some error in code, but it should come flat and it should go down. So methane is going down. Temperature is going up. Okay, and CO2 is going up. CO2 is always going up. It will not go down. While CO is an intermediate. If you go back to the reaction kinetics lesson, the topic, we have talked about various reaction mechanism. So CO forms and CO also burns again to form CO2. Okay, so CO is going down and it will go to 0 after some time. And you will have purely CO2. That is how we define complete combustion. If you have CO remaining in your product, then the combustion is not complete. Okay, so let us look at the profiles. Then, so see, this is for, let us say for this. So I take a line along the center line. So this you all understand. This is from Bunsen burner. Okay, so if I take a line along this is the line. This plot is along this line. When we are going from unbond mixture to bond mixture, that is what is being shown in these plots. So let us look at the contours. Let us say, how about the temperature? Temperature goes from room temperature to bond gas temperature, right? So, if you plot in this, let us say we have a Bunsen burner flame, right? This, you all have seen this. So, if plot like this, it will look like this. This is the same plot. A Bunsen burner, if you rotate 90 degrees, it will become a Bunsen burner. It is a tilted Bunsen burner, that's all. So you see temperature, see blue is room temperature. So it is very low, then it increases a little bit, and finally it goes to high value. So this is the transition region. Okay, so it is at 300 Kelvin at blue, 2000 Kelvin at this red. So this is how it is transitioning. This is what is shown here. From here to here it is transitioning, right? Then it goes to 2000 Kelvin. Is this, now it is clear?
Yes, sir.
सर हीट ट्रांसफर किस
Yes.
डायरेक्शन में हो रहा था? वो तो अनबर्न गैस की तरफ हो रहा था, हीट ट्रांसफर।
Yes.
और फिर यहाँ टेम्परेचर तो
transfer ऐसे
बर्न
हो
गैस
रहा
की
है।
तरफ बढ़ रहा है।
See, यहाँ पे
दो-
बहुत ही very, yes, it is a very let me explain one. It is a very thin region which is getting heated. Okay, यहाँ पे जो, if you go back, see, we are talking about 2-3 millimeters. Okay, पूरा, तो see this plot ये थोड़ा सा बड़ा करके बनाया है. Okay, everything is happening within, say, let us say 1 or 2 millimeters. So this is the unburned gas what you are talking about. Okay, but initially तो ये 300 Kelvin पे है, right? Now it is going to be heated to ignition temperature. That is what this theory says. तो जब इसको हीट कर रहे हैं, ये बहुत ही स्ट्रॉन्ग ग्रेडियंट है, बहुत ही छोटे डिस्टेंस पे बहुत हाई टेम्परेचर चेंज है. इट इज अ स्टेप चेंज. ओके, so that's why I'm showing you that contour. This graph, ये तो तुम्हें मतलब समझाने के लिए बनाया है, but this is like 1 millimeter, let us say. Okay.
Okay, sir.
So what is happening is that जो प्लॉट में दिख रहा है, let me go back. Okay, so heat हो रहा है, यहाँ पे हो रहा है, but that is a very small region. See,
ओके
this
सर,
is
ओके सर।
initially तो ये 300 Kelvin है. We have to bring it to ignition temperature. So यहाँ पे ignition temperature आया, then it starts burning and then it achieves some temperature. Fine. So this is the plot for temperature.
ओके
ये तुम्हारा, this is the Bunsen burner flame. This is fuel is coming from left to right. Fine. And this inner cone, this is the preheat zone. The blue region what you see, it does not react. This is fuel. अभी fuel आया है, then it will hit the reaction zone. A small layer will be heated up and then it reacts. That is what is happening. See, ये experimental image है. All the green lines that you see, that is all unburned fuel. Fuel is just entered from left. Now this is your bright blue region is your reaction zone. Fuel इधर आया, react किया, यहाँ product बन गया. That's it. Now let us talk about CO2 and CO. Okay. So this is how it will look. CO यहाँ पे बहुत strong. This is a very strong concentration of CO here. What we see here, जो peak दिख रहा है, this is that peak. Red color is that peak. Okay, here this plot is made for this one line. जो plot है, this is a 1D plot. This is only for this line. इस line के across of plot बनाया गया है. Fine. So CO is getting peak somewhere. So this is that peak, red. अगर तुम CO का plot करोगे, तो this is 0. यहाँ आगे जाके भी 0 हो गया है. Right? यहाँ पे थोड़ा सा CO बना है, which is a peak. What we see here. Okay, we see that peak. ये जो peak है, this is what is red line. This is that peak. And then it is coming down. Green is lower than red. Then it is coming down. So you see, next level पे, so finally it will go to 0. That is how it is going down. So this.
सर मतलब, सर इसका मतलब CO
हाँ,
CO2 में कन्वर्ट हो जाएगा सर, मतलब CO
नहीं तो
CO2 में
नीचे
फिर
देखो, ये
कन्वर्ट
दिख
होगा
रहा है.
रिएक्शन के बाद।
Yes, you see the
Yes, sir.
ये वाला प्लॉट, जहाँ पे CO कम होता जा रहा है, वैसे ही CO2 बढ़ता जा रहा है.
ओके सर, ओके सर।
राइट, यहाँ
फुल
पे peak आ
कंबशन
रहा है
होगा।
इसका. यस, सो एट द एंड ऑफ, जब तुम्हारा फ्लेम, ये केवल बिल्कुल क्लोजअप दिखाया है, व्हेन इट विल गो फर्दर, देन आइडियली जो हमारा डेफिनेशन है कंप्लीट कंबशन का, व्हेन वी डिफाइन, व्हेन जब भी न्यूमेरिकल हम लोग सॉल्व कर रहे थे ना, तो वी से दैट अज्यूम कंप्लीट कंबशन. सो द डेफिनेशन ऑफ कंप्लीट कंबशन इज दैट ऑल ऑफ CO इज कन्वर्टेड टू CO2. अगर CO रिमेनिंग है तो दैट इज इनकम्प्लीट कंबशन. Fine.
Okay, sir,
I
okay.
more plots anyway. So this is clear. CO, CO2, everyone is perfectly okay with that. Let me show you OH. Okay, first let us talk about. Okay, so I have one paper which I can put in your folder. So this is, you can go through this if you are interested. So this is contour for temperature for different equivalence ratio. So this is what we have shown. Okay, so forget about this part. This is basically, the geometry is that a flame is hitting a flat plate. Otherwise the flame will continue like this. अब यहाँ पे एक plate है, तो plate को heat किया जा रहा है flame से. That is what this paper is about. Okay, so our concern is this area only. We'll focus about this. So this is what we have seen, right? CO. So CO is for different equivalence ratio. Now the problem is that if you have lean or you have stoichiometric, CO will be consumed. Now what about rich mixture? 1.2 equivalence ratio is this. So we have still some CO remaining. Okay, so that will depend on oxygen that is diffusing. अभी तो एयर में है ना, ओपन एटमॉस्फेयर है, तो ऑक्सीजन विल कम आउट, ऑक्सीजन में आएगा और देन इट विल बर्न CO. If it is not burned, then CO2 will not be produced. If you look at these two plots, so this is CO for equivalence ratio 0.8, 1 and 1.2. This is for CO2 0.8, 1 and 1.2. So just focus on this one. Okay, center वाले पे focus करो. So this is what I have shown in the PPT. CO is forming here and it is getting decreased. CO2 is, यहाँ से we have some reaction, but the peak is coming here. Here we have get maximum CO2. What we have saw in this. CO peak aya, then it goes down. CO2 is increasing. It gets a peak and then it continues. Right, this is the peak. Peak aya, then it continues with that peak. Now if you have different equivalence ratio, so this is for a rich flame. So you see we have much more CO for a rich flame, and you see यहाँ पे 1.2 equivalence ratio है. See where the CO2 is formed. CO2 is not forming here. CO2 is peak is here because by the time more oxygen got diffused and then it burned, CO2 is burning here. अभी थोड़ा क्लियर हुआ?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes.
I will put this paper on your Google Classroom also. If you want, you can read. But itna you just need to understand what we are talking here. Okay. So let us go back to what all we have. So this we have already seen, right? Now let us talk about other species. So what about OH? OH will form, it will also get decreased. Why? What will happen to OH? What will OH form? So
H2O.
Water.
Water, correct. So we'll get different radical species. Okay, so this is not a stable species. H atom, O atom, OH. These are not stable species. Okay, they will anyway react, and this will form water. This will again form CO2, water, whatever. And there's CH3 here, CH2. So these are the various intermediate species. So intermediate species can go like this. There are two ways. Either it will go like CO. It will have a peak, then come down, or it will go to some distance. But finally, it is coming down only. At the end of the reaction, you will see that there is no OH and no this. This should ideally be 0. You see the mole fraction is also very small. See here. Here we are having 0.25 is the scale. So here we are having 0.01. That is the maximum. So these are very small quantities of these species, but these are also, ideally speaking, when I say complete combustion, then it should also be 0. Fine. This is all for methane air combustion. Everyone is okay with this?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Fine.
Yes, sir.
So let us talk about this element we have discussed. Let us talk about reaction, volumetric reaction rate, or how the species is produced. So in the middle you see water is produced. Okay. Then CO is produced and CO2 is produced. CO peak is here. After that, CO2 peak is coming, and like that. So CO is getting consumed here. See that peak is going down. And methane, see reaction rate negative. Negative means that it is getting consumed. Positive means this is getting produced. Fine. So this is how reaction rate varies for different species in a methane air flame. Okay, so this is this we have already discussed, and this is how OH looks. So OH is a very well-known flame marker. Okay, you see where we have the flame from, where there we have very high concentrations of OH. So when we do reaction, when you do this laser diagnostic studies, there we find out the profile of OH, and that is what we mark as the flame front. This is a very well-known marker for reaction zone, OH. Okay, let us also quickly discuss hydrogen here. So this is much more simpler because we have less intermediate species, but we will have similar type of features. Hydrogen is in excess here. It reaches the reaction, it becomes 0. Oxygen is high at the fuel side, then it becomes 0 in the burnt products. Then we have water is getting produced and temperature is getting increased. Similar things what we have already seen in methane, and we have heat release. Okay. Similarly, we have intermediate species or radicals for hydrogen combustion. So hydrogen we have H, OH, and O, and one more species H2O2, but that is present in very small quantities. So this is multiplied by 50. Okay, so the actual will be much more lower. Fine. So let us stop here. Tomorrow we'll talk about flame speed measurements. Any doubt in this? What we have discussed today? So you are clear with what we have discussed?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Fine.
Yes, sir.
So fine. Anyway, I will upload that paper also. You can look at it, and then we'll meet tomorrow. We'll talk about flame speed measurements, and one more thing is regarding that Microsoft Teams. So I will check again if we can get recording option. Otherwise, we will have to switch to Teams. I will email you. Just keep checking your mails. So one possibility is maybe tomorrow we'll take Teams, and next week we can switch to Microsoft Teams. Okay, I will keep you updated. I'll mail you. So we'll plan.
So tomorrow it's going to be on Google Meet or Teams, sir?
So tomorrow will be
Tomorrow.
meet. Tomorrow I will tell
Yes,
you
sir.
whether I also need to check whether we can continue this or we need to switch. If we switch, so next week we'll switch. Tomorrow we'll on Teams.
Meet, sir. Meet.
So sorry. Yeah, tomorrow Google, next week Microsoft. Fine?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so we'll stop today. We'll meet tomorrow again. Thank you. Is
ओके सर इस मतलब
yeah, Sunil.
फ्लैम्स के नोट्स भी मैं पोस्ट कर दीजिए क्लासरूम पे
हाँ, I will post that.
थैंक यू सर
Yeah.
Thank you, sir.
Is Naveen here or left?
Thank you, sir.
Okay, thank you.